So these are my scars from my top surgery. 4 years post-op top surgery. Um, you know, it is what it is. This is me. Sure feels better with a shirt on, but I still have issues just being topless, which I remember was going to be one of my highlights, but it's tough. It's tough to, I guess, just kind of wear your scars, I guess. I mean, I try to be positive, of course. It's a part of me and it's my journey, but it's hard to just be out there and have everybody know, I guess. And maybe they don't exactly know because they don't know what you truly had done or why. But it's just an area of self-consciousness. Let's see, other things. Socializing. Yeah, I don't really make a lot of friends. I mean, beforehand, I can't say that I did either. Kind of everybody's like friend, but nobody's real good friend. I don't really have friends. I have my few friends. But I don't make friends easy. I certainly don't like socialize with the guys. I mean, I'm a nurse and I work in a 99.5 percent female environment, and some of our ancillary workers within the hospital are there's males. I don't find myself mixing with them. I don't know, some other guys maybe that have families, we can talk about our kids and things, and then beyond that, it just stays at work. I just have work friends, I guess, or acquaintances, more or less people you say hi to, but I just don't find it any easier to mingle with people than it was before. It was still hard and awkward for me to meet people before. I was thinking today, if I did meet a male friend, I would definitely feel it was important to let them know that I'm transgender. I guess I feel like it's a safety thing too. I don't know. You just don't know what you're walking into. You don't know how people feel. So I think that I do get very self-conscious in a socializing environment, especially with males. So it's just no easier or harder, I guess, than it was before. I don't make a lot of friends. So it's hard because I just feel like, I was obviously socialized as female, so I do find making female friends easier. And I am glad that, I'm happily married, I do have children, and so a lot of my friends that I meet at work, they're married, they have children, so at least we can, we have a common thing. I'm not like trying to get in there and steal anybody's wife or anything like that, because I have encountered that before with a friend who was straight, and when I came out as transgender, I thought I was going to steal his wife. It's just so dumb. It's just so ridiculous. I mean, when I was female, I still could have stolen your wife if I wanted to, but I don't. It's dumb. So I do just find social situations awkward. But I hope, as our kids get older, and they're starting to make friends and we make a couple friends, but I still do kind of feel the need to self-disclose. It's obviously something that I'm going to be open with our children about, and so I'd probably be open. So I think that's just kind of the thing too, is like I walk around and in society people don't know that I'm transgender, and then at work I know that people know that I'm transgender because I do talk about it on Facebook and things, but it's not something that I talk with anybody about. It's kind of this awkwardness. I'm really hoping to kind of get past that, and I know that a lot of that's on me because people aren't just going to bring up things about you because they don't know how you feel about it. So I have to show them that I'm comfortable with it. It's just getting to that point. When I worked in the place that I transitioned at, it was a lot different, but I got overwhelmed with just being transgender and being he'd and she'd, and it was just such a difficult environment for me to stay in. I couldn't stay there. I needed to go somewhere new and just start out as me. And that felt really good. It's just then, as the years went on, I just kind of didn't talk about being transgender. And so it was just a little different. So it's kind of getting through that. So I do hopefully see myself getting to that, because it's kind of like, I don't know, just having like that out discussion, or just kind of tossing it in there. And that's why I have thought about too, like making a video maybe and just like posting it. But I have talked about being transgender, and still nobody asks me any questions. Like, they don't talk about it. And I think that people just don't feel comfortable. Now, there are people who have had questions because they have questions regarding their own children being transgender. And so I have talked with people about that, being transgender and my journey, and if they have any questions and things like that. So I have talked with some people. It's just not something that I've really talked with a lot of people about. So, yeah, I just kind of think the coming out thing, I haven't really done a lot of that. People who are obviously like in my life, they already just know. It's not something that we need to talk about, but it is something that I talk about from time to time. People are like, oh yeah, I totally forgot that you were transgender. So, you know, it's cool to just be seen for me. I mean, that's all I ever really wanted, was just to be seen for me. So it is neat to just be able to be. Let's see. The only other thing I think is just, you know, just being good about sticking a needle in myself every week just sucks. You know, of course that's a downer, but the effects are this. Now, the gray hair, I think that came quickly. I don't know, after starting testosterone. Other negative things. I think it's funny because I wanted my facial hair to grow so fast, and like all this grows like ridiculously fast. So I'm not going to complain about my facial hair. This could be thicker. My son says I have a small mustache and I need to have a big mustache. So, I think that like body wise, that's the only thing, is I've, been kind of trying to exercise, here and there, and eat better, and my body shape is still just very feminine. So it'll be getting rid of those curves and those just pockets of love handles there. I think the other thing is just to remember that you can change your outside as much as science allows, but the inside you have to take care of. And that's something that I still go back to, is like some things that I learned in therapy. And thank God my wife and I have an amazing relationship where we can talk about everything. And, we really work through a lot of stuff together too. And so you have to remember to take care of the inside, because there's still going to be things like, insecurities and just childhood issues that they don't go away just because you now look like the opposite gender of which you were assigned at birth. I mean, that doesn't go away. Another negative just popped in that I talked about assigned at birth. Definitely getting people to see you for you, people who have known you. Getting people to go along with your name change. And then losing family. Yeah, it's a real downer. Family relationships that change. Thank God my parents and I have been able to work through it. But there's probably not a day that goes by that I don't think they, underneath there, probably still refer to me as she. I've heard my mom slip on the phone. So to themselves, I really don't know what they refer to me as. When I transitioned, I kind of went to the bridge of Chris as a name, but that was just because it was easy from my birth name, and then I renamed myself Christian, and I love Christian. I mean, that's what I would prefer to go by. I don't introduce myself as Chris, and I really, I did when I was first transitioning, because I didn't know what my name was going to be, and so that was just pretty safe, gender neutral. And so now here I am, and there are still some people or family that call me Chris, and I guess, as a nickname, that's what they're comfortable as, or that's just what they want to do. But I'm most comfortable as Christian, and then just definitely relationship to change within my extended family. I really don't talk. I talk to one cousin, and I've had quite a few. We had a big family growing up, so a lot have since passed away, and so those of course changed family relationships as well. But me being transgender definitely changed a lot of relationships. I don't really talk to my older brother and some close cousins that I had. I've tried. We like each other's stuff on Facebook, but it's not something that's comfortable, and I haven't been home to see any of those people since I transitioned. I've seen my grandma a couple of times. She lives in Colorado, and I do believe that's been very hard on her. We used to have a very, 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 very close relationship, as I was the only female grandchild on my dad's side. So our relationship has never been the same. We used to be, I would pretty much say, kind of like best friends. Like, I came out to her as one of the first people, and I really felt like I had a lot of support from her. And then the first time I saw her, probably about, what was it? 6 or 7 months after I started my transition, really I started to change my physical features, wearing a binder, looking more masculine. That was the first time I saw her, and ever since then, just things really changed, and we're just not as close as we used to be. And sometimes, I know that I could do better, and I'm sorry that I don't. It just, everything feels different, and that's hard. And I'm sure it's hard for them too, but it's hard to be on this side of it. For me, I know it's hard for them too. So just to know that those relationships change. Some friendships have changed, some friendships, and I know friendships kind of come and go, people come and go. But there have been some people who just kind of faded away afterward, and it felt kind of transition related, because even 6 months or a year after I was transitioning, I'm very much presenting male, and I did have a friend or two that would she me a lot. And so I'm sorry, but I can't continue friendships that can't respect my pronouns. So those kind of faded. So I think that just kind of losing people is hard. Thankfully, some relationships change, but they don't go away. And then some people can learn to adapt, which is amazing. So I'm really blessed to have my parents and my younger brother and some aunts and uncles who definitely support me to the fullest and do their best to be respectful of my pronouns and my name and my life. And so that feels really good. But we're not talking about good things, we're talking about negative things. So I think that's really about it as far as negative stuff. With that being said, would I change a thing? Absolutely not. You take the good with the bad. I mean, that's what life is. There are ups and there are downs, and you take the good with the bad. You weigh the pros and cons, and man, I would not change a thing. I love my life. I love me. This mug staring at me every day in the mirror is the best thing I could see, and I love watching myself evolve and grow and just be me. It's fun to push the limits of gender. I work in a neonatal ICU. I work with breastfeeding moms and babies, and it's great to push beyond that gender stereotype and just to be awesome at what I do. So I love me, and my transition's been a ride, and I wouldn't change it for a thing. So this has been way too long, but thanks for hanging in there and supporting me and watching through it, and try to be more frequent so I don't have to take up your whole day. Thanks. Bye.